I'm Floros. Welcome to another Beadaholique live class. It is Tuesday, and I'm here on Tuesdays sharing a lot of love for Beadaholique. As you know, Beadaholique is closing, so we are now at July 15th, and the closing sale is now 30% off of all the things. Hello, everyone. So 30% off of all the things. You don't need a coupon code. You don't need any special magic when you go to the site. Everything is marked down 30%. So we are so sad that Beadaholique is going away, but we have decided we are going to have fun until the very end. So we're going to wait until those doors are locked. We have to maybe bust through the door once, but we're going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to make some jewelry, and we're going to share products with you to make sure that you get them home while you still can. So let's see who's here. Eric is here. Hi, Eric. Monica is here. Francie in KC is saying good morning and good afternoon. Tanya is here. Michelle is here. And guys, I am so grateful that you're joining, and we're just gonna party. We're gonna party, Beadaholique style. And if you don't already know, I'm Floros. I'm doing shows here on Tuesdays. Julie is doing shows on Mondays and Thursdays. We are celebrating and just enjoying all of our Beadaholique friends. And yeah, we're just enjoying ourselves and having a good time. Who else is here? I see more of you joining. Terry is here. Sheila is here. Monica, Ms. Joey, Sandy, Piper is here. Hazel is here. Thank you guys for being here. So it is July 15th. We are in the middle of July, and we are still celebrating all of the kind of colors of summer and enjoying all of the sunshine and all of those things. Maybe a little bit too much sunshine here or there. Oh, thanks, Santa Barbara girl. Hi, Candy. So, yeah, I'm in Arizona. It's actually going to be cooler today here, so I'm feeling good about that. And I'm so grateful that you're all here. So, beadaholique.com/live. That is the best way to watch this show while it's live, because we can chit chat. So you see, I'm saying hello to folks because I can see their comments on the chat here on the show. You can also share the show. There is an arrow where you can click on that and you can share this with a beading bestie or in a jewelry making group that you might be part of that allows you to do that. And you can also share the love by clicking on the heart. And my friends, you can shop the show, which is so much fun. So I have placed in the show today a few things. First of all, everything that I'm working with, or if there is something that I couldn't find, I have like at least a close substitute for it. As we're starting to sell down at beadaholique.com, it is getting harder for us to find supplies. So most everything that I'm working with today is available. And I've also put in some tools today because I thought I should remind you, if you're looking for a way to splurge on tools and not spend the full amount, 30% off here at beadaholique.com. So grab some tools. I put some in the shopping bag and thought that you might want to shop on those. And you can shop the show while you watch. So if you've never tried to do that, you've been too afraid to do it, don't be afraid. The shopping bag icon, you can click anytime. And I don't go away. The video and the audio is still present. I get smaller on the screen, but you can still hear me and see me, and you can do that shopping, read up on the products, start to put in some products into your shopping cart, and you can check out and do all of that while you watch. And if you have things in your cart, we do suggest before the show is over that you do check out, because some of these things are limited stock. Some things may be very, very close to being sold out, so you don't want to miss them. If you walk away from your cart, you don't know what's going to happen. People are going to steal stuff right out of your cart. So, oh, and I'm seeing free shipping over $35. So any order over $35 gets free shipping. I mean, who doesn't love free shipping? I love free shipping. That is those are two of my most favorite words in the world. So I think, oh, and if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, we love that you watch there. I can't see your comments live. So come on over to beadaholique.com/live, and you can join us here on the show and hang out and chit chat with all of the other Beadaholique fans here. I see Lisa in PA has joined, and Sheila is loving the free shipping too. So what I'm going to be doing today, guys, is creating jewelry with the Timeless Wonders beads. So if you haven't seen the Timeless Wonders beads yet, there is a whole section on beadaholique.com. And you just click on the word timeless, and it will give you tons and tons of beautiful check glass bead options. And I'm telling you, they are timeless and they are so gorgeous. There's so many beautiful shapes, beautiful colors, things that go beautifully together, things that go together that might surprise you. So it's the kind of thing like just grab what you want, grab what you like, and then put it all together when you get it. And that's kind of what I did. I pulled some beads and I said, let me just get the beads that I like, get them in front of me, and get some other pieces and parts and make something. And so I was thinking these timeless beads, these Timeless Wonders beads are going to create timeless jewelry. So we're going to make some jewelry today, and I've got a few things to show you, like a few projects, and I have one finished project. So I'm going to flip the camera down, and why don't we start with the finished project? Let's get that out of the way. I'll walk you through what I did quickly and show you the piece and show you what is in it. So I thought, because one of my favorite colors is pink, well, actually my favorite color is pink, that I would make this really cool, pretty in pink, very ethereal bracelet. Oh, thank you so much, Carol. That's so nice. This is all like clear and pinkish beads, and then a really beautiful pink focal bead. So what I love about this is the shapes. So you've got these like 3-leaf kind of clover beads. They have an AB finish. We've got some teardrops that are a rosaline AB. Fun shape, really cool finish. And this amazing, this is probably one of my most favorite beads. It is a check bead in milky pink. It's 10 millimeters, and it just looks beautiful, surrounded by all of these beautiful finishes and shapes. So this was fun. Let me show you quickly what went into it. So here's those 10 millimeter rounds, and you get a lot of them. I only used one. So look at these gorgeous pink beads. I mean, if you're a pink fan like me, I nearly fainted when I opened up the bag of these. Tanya, aren't they pretty? They're just ethereal and beautiful. And if you just want to use one, this is a great design to do that. And here's the teardrops. So you get a lot of these as well. And they're a nice elongated teardrop, and they are top drilled, so you can just string them right onto your stringing wire. They are gorgeous. Oh, thank you for the hearts, you guys. These are really, really lovely. So these are kind of a no-brainer for me. Like, just grab all the pretty shapes, all the pretty finishes. And when I got all of these and opened up the package, I said, I just have to make a fun bracelet with these. So look at the finish on these. Wow. I mean, these are gorgeous and the shape is just so cool. So these two beads were on cotton string, which I cut off to make my project, which means they are vintage. So if you appreciate the vintage check, you can get some of these home and just start playing with them. But this project, super easy. And all I did was I added some 15-0s. So if any of you have followed me at all, you may know that I love using seed beads for spacers. These are 15-0s. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. And they are a silver lined crystal. So I used these as a continuity bead all through the project, and it added just even a little more sparkle, a little bit more fun. So this project, this bracelet is going to be my new favorite because it's just so lovely. So all of these beads should be in your shopping bag, so you can drop all of the things in to make this. And I think you're going to flip out when you see these beads in person. They are so beautiful. So let's set that one aside and let's start with a really easy peasy project. So another thing I pulled, and you know what, I'm going to put out my beading mat so we don't make quite as much noise. So I picked out these guys. So I love a good square bead. These are check flat squares. They are 9mm, and one of the most famous bead colors is Montana blue. These are Montana blue squares. They have a hole down the center. They're center drilled. Let me show you where it is. Like so. And they are gorgeous. So this color blue is so fantastic. So I pulled these out and said, let's use some of those. I'm going to set that aside for a moment. And then I know another very popular bead shape is the melon bead. So I think a lot of folks love melon. So these are check melons in 5mm, and they're called Halo Azurite. So they are a blue, but they've got a finish on them and they're super cool. So they've got texture, that melon shape, and then they've got this cool finish. And of course, they're blue. Now, immediately, I didn't think that the Montana blue went with these, but I think it does. And I'll show you what I did. So also in the shopping bag, or in the shopping bag today, you will see some instant jewelry components. So this is a really cool bracelet component that has a silicone slide on it. And it has this beautiful snake chain. It has some silver ends to it. And it comes with these 2 loops at the end that are just screaming to have something attached to them. And I don't know who's saying what is out of stock, but I'm sorry, guys. Things are going fast here at Beadaholique.com. So some things could be out of stock or could be very, very limited. So I'm sorry about that, but it's just the facts here. Ellen, the 15-0 is called Silver Lined Crystal. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, or make a note of that, it's a Toho seed bead, a round Toho seed bead. So that's what I used for the bracelet. And okay, so this is a component that was in stock. I don't know if it still is, but here is what I'm going to do with it. So I took some 22 gauge wire and I created a loop at one end. So this project is partially finished. We're going to finish it together. And then I strung on 3 of those Montana blue squares. and 2 of those beautiful melon beads. And I do think that those 2 blues go really nicely together. And I used some beads in between. I used some demi rounds. So demi rounds are like a half seed bead. So in height, they're about, or width, whichever way you hold it, they're about half the size. And I used my favorite seed bead color, nickel. And so these are a great spacer. I love these for spacers. I love seed beads for spacers, but demi rounds are also very cool and can create a different look when you stack them. So I'm using 2 of them in between each of my beads. So we're going to attach this piece to this already like instant jewelry component. And it's just super easy. So I'm going to grab some round nose pliers, and I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra room here because we want this piece to bend a little bit. So I'm going to take my piece of wire, bend it around my pliers, create a loop, and then I'm going to do a few wraps. And I think I did 2 wraps on the other side. Let's see. Yeah, 2 wraps on the other side. So I'm going to give myself that little bit of space so that I can bend this and it won't crack beads. So I'm going to come in and then I'm going to come in and just tighten up that end of my wire. And so I've got this little component. And what I want to do is attach it to this. Now, at the end of this component is a jump ring, and it is an open jump ring, so we can actually open it up and make our attachment. So I'm going to grab some chain nose pliers, and I think these are sold out on Beadaholique.com, but I think these wubbers are in the shopping bag today. So again, if you want to take advantage of that 30% off, you might want to do that, and the free shipping at 35 and more, which isn't hard to achieve when you start looking around and finding things. So we've got our component attached to the jump ring on one side, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This is like one of the easiest projects. And if you don't like the blue beads, you don't like this blue choice, go and find some other Timeless Wonders beads to work with because there are so many options. I liked the square beads because they're going to be a little bit flat to the wrist. And these smaller melon beads will also be kind of flat. So I'm just going to very gently bend this wire component, and then you can slide down your little stopper, and you can put this on. And I'm going to hold on to those pieces. This is a little tricky to do by yourself, but it's a much easier than like a lobster or something like that. So I'm going to pop that onto my wrist and kind of give it another bend to my wrist shape. I'm going to put that stopper up a little bit close to my wrist. And now I've got this fun dangly accent at the end. The wire gauge is 22 gauge. Is it 22? Yes, it's 22 gauge. I wouldn't recommend going any thinner than that. So you could probably go to a 20 if you like a 20. It's a little stiffer. But once you get this onto your wrist, that wire is going to sit nicely. And it's just a pretty bracelet. So this is an instant, timeless piece of jewelry. We've got just some simple beads and a simple, easy way to create a bar. And and you can just easy on, easy off this bracelet. Can you add more beads than that? You can, because this is sizable. So it's just all about how you want to design it. It would mean you'd want to check out like how your bar goes across your wrist. So you might take a look here and say, I would like 1 or 2 more beads. And then the chain part of it becomes less of the design, but more of the function down at the bottom. So the sky is the limit with this component. And if you really wanted to, you could make several little components like this, and you can take this off because you're a jewelry maker. You could take this off with the open and close of the jump ring, and you could add another component. So just an easy, fun, timeless piece of jewelry for you. And this is all in, shades of blue, which is still like one of the most popular colors in the world. So I love this. I think this is just a fun way, easy piece of jewelry to make. And the check melons they come in a nice strand. So they will be stranded when they come to you, and you get 50 pieces. So that's cool. And then for the squares, they are 9 millimeter, and you get 25 pieces of those. And then this component, here's the packaging. It's a rhodium plated adjustable snake chain bracelet. So that's what I used. Oh, and don't forget the demi rounds, the nickel demi rounds that we used. So that's fun. So let's make one more instant jewelry piece. So I'm going to move over a bunch of things here, and I'll tell you all about them in a moment. I did a little bit of pre-work for this one because I don't think you'd want me to make all of this on camera. Michelle and Eric might have my head if I wrap this many beads on the show and try to do other stuff. So this is an instant necklace piece. And I love this style of necklace. So it kind of has a bit of a lariat vibe. So if you know about lariats, it's usually a continuous piece of chain or beaded piece, and there's no clasp, and it kind of has a loose ending, so you can tie it or wrap it or do all kinds of fun things. And Michelle says, I don't know what you're talking about, Deb. I'm here for the beads and fun. Okay, Michelle, well then we're going to go. We're just going to keep going today. So this component is so much fun. So this is also rhodium plated. It's an adjustable wheat chain necklace with this sliding stopper. And it's a 2-hole stopper. So it's sliding on both of your chains, and the ends of the chains have these nice dangles on them. I hope this isn't sold out. Maybe a few of you can at least get some. And then at the ends, just like the bracelet, you've got a jump ring. So I started this, and what I did was I created this fun beaded piece at the bottom. And how did I do that? I also grabbed some chain. So this is excellent chain for so many things. It's one of my favorites. This is a 4 millimeter stainless steel Rolo chain. You can get it by the foot. Hopefully there's still some available. But what I like to do with something like this is I'm going to pick out my beads. And in this case, I picked out 3 different sizes, 2 different shapes, 3 different colors. And in the Timeless Wonders collection, there are some really cool crackle beads. I love a good crackle bead. These are check glass crackle beads. These are 10 millimeter, and this is the emerald color. And I actually love the emerald beads with the other 2 beads that I picked out. I'm not a fan of emerald on its own. It's just not my favorite. But when it matches up to these other beads, it just brings it to life for me. So here's another bead we included. So these are 8 millimeter check round olivine AB. I love a good olivine. And with that AB finish sort of on half the bead, they are so incredibly cool. So these are a little bit smaller. And then I threw in another shape and something in my favorite kind of colorway. And these are Czech Fire Polish 7x5mm teardrop fuchsia. And these are stunning. So the combination of these things makes for a really interesting little dangly drop. So we're going to create this. All I did ahead of time here is I grabbed some 2-inch ball end head pins and I started to wrap them. And I do have a head pin here. I had a couple of them. Oops, I just spilled some beads. I had a couple here. We're going to just wrap a couple. So you can see how I do that if you have not seen that happen before. So I'm going to take my teardrop bead. I'm going to put this onto the head pin. And then I'm going to grab my round nose pliers. And I'm just going to start a wire wrap loop. So I'm just going to get it ready and kind of open it up a little bit and set it aside. So you can do this all ahead of time. If you like to do things that way, if you like to do it maybe more, kind of a like one step at a time process, or if you want to wrap them as you go, that's cool too. So I've got all my beads on their head pins and with the starting loop, and I'm going to be attaching them to the chain. And the way I like to do this is I like to start with the chain not cut. So you may have an idea of how long you want this to be, and that's completely up to you if you want to cut it ahead of time. I find when I'm doing this, it's easier to work from a larger piece of chain. So, yes, Piper, they do look like pomegranate seeds. I agree. So I'm just going to start from what I would consider the bottom of my chain. So you can see here, I just attached all of them directly to my chain. Now, if you're uncomfortable with wire wrapping onto chain, you can add them with a jump ring. So if you want to grab some jump rings and do that, that is totally up to you. But I like to wrap directly to my chain. So you see, I've taken the very last piece of the last link of my chain. I've dropped my loop onto it, and then I'm going to get a hold of it, and I'm going to just do a couple wraps and attach that piece. And you might just want to come in and make one little adjustment to tuck in your end. And I have my first piece on. Then you can go in whatever, in whatever direction you would like. You can go in whatever pattern you'd like. But you can start adding more of your beads. So you can go into, and I've got a little piece of fuzz there. You can just grab the next link and drop your bead, your wire in there, and then do your wraps, trim off your excess, and now you're starting to build your dangle. Now, I like this, I like a lariat, and I also think that this is somewhat timeless because I like to occasionally watch shows and sales, vintage jewelry sales. Actually, I'm going to add my big green one next. I like to watch people selling vintage jewelry because I learn a lot about jewelry, and I also get to see some of the amazing styles that used to exist in the jewelry world. And, there were the flapper days when there were those long kind of tassel-y necklaces, and they would bounce around while the flappers were dancing. So this is very reminiscent of that. But there was also a phase where these kind of slider necklaces were very popular. I think it was in the 70s. So some of the big jewelry houses like Monet and some of the others were making this kind of slider mechanism and creating this kind of style. So this is very timeless. This design is very timeless, and this instant necklace piece is great for creating that look. Now you could still create a lariat on your own, and you could still do this same thing. Add your dangles to it. But I thought, well, I could find these fun components that you might want to check them out and get them home to you. And, you've got a really easy, start to your lariat. You're just going to add your chain and beads and be done. Be done with it. So I've already got my little pattern going. These beads look so beautiful together. Again, I love this color combination. It's just very lovely. And all of these Timeless Wonders beads, I mean, you can go even further and grab multiple colors. You can get more colors involved here. Do 5 colors, do 6 colors, do 8 colors, and grab different sizes. You can even go longer on the designs. You could go a longer dangle if you want to do that. So I'm just adding beads here, just adding beads to the chain, and it's a little fussy when you've got when you've got this much going on, but when you get in the groove, you find that it's not problematic to do it. So I'm doing like kind of alternating the side of the chain that I'm adding to, but it really, I mean, when this gets on you and starts moving around, all these beads are just going to move around and do their thing. So it's just fun. These are just really fun beads. This is a fun design. So I had fun starting it yesterday. I started working on it yesterday, and I was just having a ball, like wrapping the beads and putting them on and oohing and awing about how cool the beads look together. So, flower beads would also be pretty. Yes, I agree, Paula. And I believe there are a number of flower beads in the Timeless Wonders collection too. So if you want to start hunting around to see what else you can find there are so many pretty options. Lots of different shapes. I mean, this collection is really cool. And I think Julie has used some of the beads as well. She's been showing these off also, and I think she is also enamored of them and really enjoys working with them. So we've had a blast creating with these and getting them home to us and finding ways to incorporate them into something beautiful. So I've got a few more to go, guys, but this is a fun project. If this is something you could do with a friend. So have a friend do one side and you can do the other. Maybe you teach them a little something about jewelry making along the way. That's a fun idea. Beading with your besties, getting your besties converted into jewelry making. What do you think about that? I think that's a great idea. I'd love to bring more people into the fold, more of the jewelry gang, hanging out and making jewelry. That's what we do. Ooh, I like the way you wrap those beads on. Thank you. I don't know if I'm doing it like most people would, or if I'm doing it differently, but this is the way I like to do it. I just kind of find a little loop and then I flip it over, kind of flip the whole piece over so I can get the part that's already done kind of dangling away from me, and then flip it back around to trim off the excess. So it's a lot of kind of flipping the piece around and, you know, picking my spot of where I'm going to put the bead on. So just kind of, it can be very meditative to do this too. You can listen to some music while you do this. You can listen to a book on tape, or an audio recording of a book. You can watch Netflix sort of while you do this. I don't know that you can completely watch it, but you can at least listen. And if you want to, another idea for you is if you want to do this, you can skip a link in your chain. Maybe that's another variation of your design that you might want to do. So that's an option. And you could skip a link. You could skip 2 links. You could add, you can add charms. That's another option for you too. You could do a charm. If you want to add some charms in, make some little extra interest there. All right, so last bead is going on here. And if I remember right, I had 5 of the large green ones, 5 of the olivine green ones, and I had 6 of the teardrops. So let me get all my little trimmings off, throw them in the trash here. Now, I've got this piece of chain, and I want to connect it to the other jump ring here at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is find where I made my last bead attachment, and I'm going to open up the ring above it. Now, this is chain that has a split link. And it's hard to see. Trust me, I'm having a hard time seeing it. And I'm probably going to need another pair, a smaller pair of chain nose to get in here. So let me grab these. And I'm very carefully going to open that up. And I'm going to take that off. And you can either use this open one to attach, or close that back up so you save your link. You still have some chain left. And then I'm going to open up this ring here. And it is, I've just got to find the split. There it is. So I'm going to open that up. And then I'm going to find the end, which is right here. I almost got it. Oh, no. Hard to grab a hold of that. There we go. Okay, so now I've got at the very top of my chain, I've got that last link, and then I'm going to close up that jump ring. And these are nice, solid jump rings on this finding, this instant necklace finding. So this is the bottom of our piece. So we've got these fun dangles, right? Pretty, pretty dangles. Love the colors, joyful shapes. And then we've got this slider. So you can take this slider, pull it all the way to the back, and this just goes over your head. And these will hang down on either side of your neck. You could tie them, kind of have them hang this way. You can do all kinds of fun things with this. And so once you get, I've got them permanently attached. Oh no. So you can do all kinds of fun things with this design and play with, oh, and I did manage to get this in a knot. Deb, geez Louise. All right. So that's this fun instant necklace piece. It's got a slider and it's now got incredibly beautiful dangles. I hope you guys will want to give this a try. It's just really fun. And I think there were several different versions of this. I put them into the shopping bag. I don't know how many were available. So maybe some of you can get these home and you can start playing with this beautiful, fun necklace. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. So that's our second design. And I'm going to pick up a few beads that are rolling around on my table. These ones got away from me. The little olivines, they were getting a little crazy over here. So let me put that off to the side. And then I thought it would be fun to create a cool earring. So this is to me, very reminiscent of the 60s. So talking about timeless jewelry, this I thought was kind of fun. So these fun components, they are connector components. They're so shiny, it's hard to get a good shot of them under the lights, but they have a hole up top and 2 holes at the bottom. You can use them for a variety of things, but I grabbed those Timeless Wonders beads and just did a couple of fun little dangles there. And easy but fun kind of timeless vibe because they're bringing back the 60s, I guess. These are 35 by 30 millimeter shiny horseshoe shaped connectors, and they are shiny. So you're going to see my fingerprints get all over this. But when you want to put these on, you can just take a nice soft cloth, wipe them down, and your fingerprints will come off and they will hang from your ears looking beautiful. So it's a big earring. I kind of like a big earring myself. And in this case, I've got some more crackle beads. These are more of the Timeless Wonders. This is some of what you'll get. These are 8 millimeter olivine. So this is kind of a combination of the previous beads I used. I used some of those dark green crackles, but olivine smaller beads. And so this is an olivine crackle in 8 millimeters. So fun, so pretty. I love that crackle look. It just adds a little something. It looks maybe like there's glitter in your bead. And who doesn't love some glitter? And then these, I think I passed out when I opened this package up. These are Fire Polish 2 millimeter Luster Iris Hyacinth. And these are vibrant and shiny and sparkly, and they look like candy. And they're just the tiniest of prettiest little beads. They are so lovely, and I thought they just created a fun combination with the olivine beads. So that green and hyacinth together, fantastic, phenomenal. And I'm bringing back in the demi rounds. So the size 11 demi rounds in nickel match nicely with this metal tone here. And we're just going to add a few of these as an accent. So just pour a few out there. And then I've got some 2-inch flat head pins. So just some simple flat head pins. I believe I was able to get these into the shop. Michelle says, she loves the crackle beads, and Fern is saying don't eat them. No, definitely don't eat them. I know beads are so tempting to eat, aren't they? Because they look so delicious. So this is all I did. Simple, easy peasy, but big impact here. So you're going to take one of your beautiful little hyacinth beads, your little fire polish, and then I added 1 demi round. So look at that little tiny accent of like an antique silver, so cool. And then our crackle bead, so sparkly. And all of these Timeless Wonders are available at Beadaholique.com. They are 30% off. Everything, all the things are 30% off, y'all. So the The sale doesn't require anything, you know, no special codes or coupons or anything. It's all just marked down because Beadaholique is leaving us. But we are going to have fun until they do. So I'm going to wire wrap directly onto my component. But again, you can attach with a jump ring if you're more comfortable with that. So I'm creating my loop. I'm going to drop that into one of the bottom holes on the component and pull that on like so. And it's going to warp your loop a little bit, but I'm going to come in with my chain nose and hold on and just do a couple of wraps around and then trim off my excess. And we've got our first drop on our earring. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I've got little tiny hyacinth bead. These, you've got to have these. They are so pretty. They're just so pretty. And the demi rounds. I mean, this is a time to stock up on this stuff so that you've got it. Like you've got all of these beautiful, colorful beads available. And then the more staple items like the demi rounds and the spacers and the components and the head pins. So, let's see. So these demi rounds are like tiny spacer beads. Yes, they are. They're just a tiny little, let's see if I can get in there, just a tiny little bead that looks like a seed bead, but it is flatter than a seed bead. So it creates I think a much better spacer bead than an actual seed bead, to be honest. I think it's better. And I like to stack them too. So I used 2 of them in that earlier component for the instant bracelet. And I like the way they look stacked because they kind of create some dimension to your piece. So I got a big loop there. So I'm just going to come in, hold on for dear life to that loop and do a couple of wraps around. And you can always use another pair of pliers to help you if you need it. And trim off my excess. And now I have my component ready for an ear wire. And I'm just using a simple French hook ear wire. Ear wires are getting a little scarce on Beadaholique.com. So just if you can't find these, there are plenty of other ear wire options for you. So here's what I do when I've got a component like this. It's a little tough to drop it into that ear wire. So I'm going to twist this quite a ways open. And you're twisting, not pulling, just like a jump ring. You don't want to pull it. So I'm going to drop that on, and then I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going to twist it back. And then I'm going to gently push those 2 things together. And then I kind of put that in my pliers and make sure everything is all aligned. And now we've got some fun, timeless earrings. And again, with all of the various options of these Timeless Wonders beads, you can do all kinds of crazy good things with the different beads. So get yourself some flower beads. I think someone suggested flower beads for the dangles. What if you did flowers here? This would be great for the flowers. And there's also some ladybugs. And do I have the ladybugs here? I do have a ladybug. I'm just going to show you these too. These I did not put in the show, but I'm sure Michelle could grab the ladybugs if you guys want to see these. Look at these ladybugs. Oh my goodness. OMG, purple ladybugs. So you could take some ladybugs and drop them from this earring. Just the ladybug. Ugh, that would be so fun. So anyways, there's just so many fun options available that you can do endless things. And these components also come in gold tone. So look at the gold tone is really pretty. It's a nice shade of gold tone too. If I can get this little bag open. So look at this beautiful gold tone. So the silver is beautiful, but if you're a gold girl, this is kind of a light gold and super chic. Gold tone is still very, very popular right now, trending. So you could make a silver pair, a gold pair, pick completely different beads for your gold tone. I put some of these little teardrops in the show as well. So you could do some pink ones, some really pretty little pink drops here from the gold. So pretty. These are gorgeous. What color are these? These are amethyst. These are light amethyst, and they are 7 by 5 millimeter. And they are on the string, so you know that these are vintage. You get 25 pieces of these. So with your gold, those are really cool. So I put those in the show too, thinking you might want to see an alternative teardrop color. And we've got these alternatives. One more idea I'm going to share. We won't make this today, but one more idea I'll share. When you talk about timeless, there are lots of things that come to mind, like pearls. So pearls are extremely timeless. They've been with us forever, and they will probably always be with us. And when I started digging through all of the Timeless Wonders beads, I found some really cool faux pearls. So I'm just cleaning up here so I can show you this. I found some of the coolest faux pearls, and these are perfect for this time of year. They are a two-tone check pearl, and they are 10 millimeters. So if you want to make a piece of timeless jewelry, you can literally string all of these beautiful pearls onto stringing wire, add a seed bead in between or not in between, and you have a very timeless piece of jewelry. And these are so incredibly cool. They are like pink lemonade that isn't mixed yet, because it's got some pink, some yellow, really beautiful, yes, pink lemonade pearls. And they're so weighty and nice. I mean, I don't know if anybody does this, but I just like to feel the weight of my beads, just feel the quality of them when I get them home. These are so incredibly beautiful. They're so luminous that my ring light always, just kind of sticks in there. If I turn it off, you can't really see it very well, but these are gorgeous. So if you grab yourself some stringing wire and here's some 15-0 nickel. So I've showed you the 11-0s and the demi rounds. This is nickel 15-0. That would add just a little something between the beads. I'll show you really quickly. We're not going to make this, but I'll show you what it looks like, and you can get the idea of just a simplistic pearl necklace, but timeless pearl necklace. And these beads are they kind of remind me of the 50s, like a really pretty necklace you would have found, the ladies wearing to church or the ladies out on the town. So you can just do a very simple pearl necklace with these gorgeous two-tone pearls, these pink lemonade beauties with just a little seed bead. Or if you're a knotter, you cannot in between, and just create that beautiful pearl necklace. I like my pearls on the bigger side. So a 10 millimeter pearl to me doesn't seem huge, but for some folks, this might seem like a big pearl, but a big pearl necklace is really, it's a timeless thing. So I thought you guys might want to see those. And let me just double check. I also put some other chain in the show. Just this chain, I thought if you wanted to create a bracelet and add beads to it, here's your chance to get some chain while it's still available. I hope this is still available. This is a long and short chain. So it's got long links and short links. And this is antique brass. So antique brass is hard to get your hands on already. You could do a fun little, dangle of a pearl on this chain. So I put some of that in the show, just thinking timeless wonders, timeless jewelry, maybe some extra chain might be in order. So that's our timeless wonders. Let me flip around, see if you guys have any questions. And I would suggest checking out before you sign off the show, because as I mentioned, these things are limited and Beadaholique is closing. So my friends, get what you want to get, because you might not be able to get them. If you get them in your cart, they can just flutter away if you leave your cart too long. So complete your order. And you'll be so happy when you get all of these pretty things home. I'm going to just show you what this earring looks like on, in case you want to see this pretty earring. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. So here is that fun earring. I love how shiny it is. It's dramatic. It's very, groovy, like the 60s. Maybe I'll put the other one in because I like them so much. And we've got a bracelet here. We've done a lot of fun things today with these Timeless Wonders beads. Go check out the entire collection. Sit down with a cup of coffee or an iced tea, because it will take you a while to go through all of the beautiful beads. There are so many of them. So lots to choose from, lots of design opportunities. And I'd love for you guys to get some of these fun things home and just dump them out on your table and make some timeless jewelry. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you, Eric and Michelle, for being here. And I hope you guys will have fun with all of your timeless wonders. And I will be back here next Tuesday for another fun show. I've got some things that I think you guys might want to see and might want to do. And Julie will be here again on Thursday. So have a wonderful week. Go and make some things and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day too. Bye, everybody.